Happy Sunday to everybody. Hope everyone's staying healthy and doing well in these very interesting times we're living in today. Iraq's news has been very interesting. Over the last few weeks, the government has put a huge emphasis on the exchange rate. Let's review that. What does Iraq mean by that? Okay? Does Iraq mean restore the exchange rate to its previous devalued rate of 1190 to simply reduce inflation? Or are they talking about putting it back to international values greater than zero, above zero? Okay? That's one of the things. So we have a private forum over on Patreon, and I'll put links in this video for you guys right below the video itself. There will be links to Patreon. We study the dinar at much greater depths than what you see in news, okay? Let's look at the news to see what they're telling us. But is the news honest and truthful? Are they tell you everything? Or is it possibly that different divisions of the government maybe tell you different things? Let's look at this. But again, if you guys would like to study the dinar at a much deeper level to get the truth out of what's happening with Iraq and the exchange rate and the dinar investment, if you want to get the truth, please join us. Please consider joining us on Patreon. Okay, and again, I'll put a link directly below the video for you guys. All right, let's see what news has been telling us over the last few weeks regarding the dinar exchange rate. Okay, so over the last few weeks, Iraq's government put out a ton of news talking about adjusting the exchange rate. Okay, again, that could only mean one of two things. Either they want to simply put it back to 1190 to reduce the inflation to help and benefit the citizens, or put it back to international levels, back above zeros. Okay, well, let's see what they're telling us right here. Here's an article from February 18th. The Iraq parliament is considering repricing the dinar against the dollar. In red, the possibility of returning to its previous value that prevailed before the financial crisis. Again, the financial crisis was the high inflation, right there, which prompted the government more than a year ago to reduce its value from 1,200 to 1,450. So they said return it to its previous value. Okay. Well, what is its previous value from where it's at now, 1,450, guys? Its previous value is 1,190. And they mentioned the financial crisis of inflation. So all these articles that the government has put out over the last few weeks, they're not talking about restoring the exchange rate to international levels greater than zero. They're talking about putting it back to its pre-devalued rate of 1190. That's why they say its previous value. Can't lie. It's right here in print in front of your eyes. Okay, before the financial crisis, which was the high inflation that they're in now, just like the United States. Okay, and put it back to its value of around 1,200, which was 1190. They want the inflation brought down. They want the citizens to have a better life. They're speaking on behalf of the citizens. They're not talking about, in these government level articles, they are not talking about returning the exchange rate to international levels above zero. They're talking about putting it back to its former pre-devalued rate of 1190 to reduce the inflation, which helps and benefits the citizens. Guys, that's all they're talking about within these government level articles. What is the central bank's stance or position on this? The central bank, this is from February 21st. The central bank, the dollar exchange rate is stable and there are no intentions to change it. An authorized source in the central bank stated on February 20th there are no intentions to change the exchange rate, especially after the positive results it achieved during the last period. What were those positive results? Well, they were able to pay off a tremendous amount of debt and achieve tremendous financial reserves. Okay, so they have a lot of financial reserves and they've paid off their debt due to devaluing the currency. Okay, let's look at the next article. Kademi's advisor. This is the former number 2 guy of the central bank back during the Shabibi era. Okay, Kademi's advisor, the exchange rate will remain at its current position. Mazhar Mohammed Saleh on Monday, February 21st, suggested that the dollar exchange rate against the Iraq dinar would remain at its current position. Saleh said it is the monetary policy that determines the exchange rate according to the central bank law, adding that unfortunately There have been many interventions. Sela added coordination between monetary and fiscal policy in a rentier country such as Iraq is very important, especially since the reserves supporting the dinar come from the Ministry of Finance. So they've achieved tremendous reserves and paying off their debt due to devaluing the currency. It's been very beneficial for them. Next article, Mazhar Mohammed Sela, again, advisor to Prime Minister Economic Affairs Mohammed Sela, suggested the exchange rate of the dollar against the dinar would remain at its current status. So as you see, the central bank has no intentions at this time of adjusting the exchange rate, according to what they're telling us. An economist rules out the dollar's return to its previous price. This article came out yesterday, Saturday the 26th. According to this economist, this economic expert ruled out the return of the dollar exchange rate to its previous price of 118,000 Iraqi dinar. So this economic expert saying that they have no intentions of changing the exchange rate at this time. Parliamentary termination of the debate on changing the exchange rate of the U.S. dollar. Today, Sunday, the Alliance of State Forces commented on the movements of some political forces to reduce the exchange rate of the dollar to return it to a place it was previously. That's 1190. While stressing that, and again, it's 1190 because their goal is to reduce the inflation, guys. The government is only talking about adjusting the exchange rate. Just like I told you in the first article, I can't make this stuff up. It's not my opinion. It's in print in front of your eyes. Return it to its previously valued before the financial crisis, which again is high inflation. And the previous value was right there in front of you of 1190, 1200 dinar. Right there in front of your face. Okay? No opinion at all in that. Okay? And then right here, the government's point of view will discuss in Parliament tomorrow. The Minister of Finance. So tomorrow they're having a session of Parliament meeting with the Minister of Finance to discuss the exchange rate in red, ruling out a decision to reduce the exchange rate of the dollar. So they're saying that even though they're going to discuss the exchange rate, they are ruling out a decision to reduce the exchange rate of the dollar. Every guy's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 articles, and there's been a ton more, are all telling you that they're not going to adjust the exchange rate at this time. Even the mother source, the central bank, said the exchange rate is stable, and the reduced rate does help them achieve their goals, and it helps them achieve their goals and paying off their bills, and they've achieved a massive financial surplus from it. Okay? So they're clearly telling you at this time they have no intentions of adjusting the exchange rate, and even if they were going to, their goal is to simply put it back to 1190 before it was devalued, keeping it below zero to reduce to the financial crisis, which is the inflation, to make the cost of goods and services more affordable to the citizens. And guys, here's what I will tell you. This is what all the news is telling you. None of this news is truthful. If this is the news that majority of the people are observing and following Dinar land, you're being misled. Okay? None of this news is truthful. None of it's accurate. Most people don't know the truth, don't know what's accurately happening and going on in Iraq. If you would like to join us on Patreon, again, I will put a link directly below the video so you can join us. You can learn the truth about what's happening in Iraq. Okay? Because reading these articles will lead you in the wrong direction. You are not accurately studying or following this investment if this is the level of news that you are reading. Please consider joining us on Patreon. I wish everyone the best. Take care and have an amazing day. Stay healthy.